This is a whole ass mobile game. Pokémon Scarlet and Violet. This game is about sandwiches. No, really, there's a whole side activity and story arc about sandwiches. Should be called Pokemon Sandwich and Pokemon Panini. But let's talk about this game. Starting with some of the features, you can be a femboy. Oh my god. That's a 10 out of 10. There are actually quite a lot of tall buff women in this game too. Definitely a bold design choice. Though I can't help but think that this game heavily inspired the new Fortnite season. The map is nearly identical. I love Fortnite. Where are we dropping? They even took the dirt bike design, and look at this hammer and tell me they weren't thinking Fortnite with this. The creativity is never lacking in a Pokemon game though. They got all of these new Pokemon. The Greaser Pokemon, a Digimon, a Bicycle, a Mario power-up, the One Piece, Moist Critical, a Troll Doll, an item from the Valorant shop, a lawnmower, Edna mode, and Lechonk. The performance leaves a bit to be desired. Game doesn't run at 60 FPS, doesn't even run at 30 FPS. I am playing a literal slideshow here, and this was after the optimization patch. The art style is hit and miss too. You got these nice drawings that you go, wow, that is some really nice work and detail put into the game. And then on the other hand, you're running up a hill dodging Cocoa Puffs. In old Pokemon games, the music is always playing unless it's meant to be an emphasized moment. In the Switch games though, you sometimes get a moment of silence where you're just alone with your thoughts for a bit and it becomes uncomfortable. Listen. Even when there is music, some of it is good, alright, but it's just not quite what it used to be by Pokemon standards. The music makes a huge impact when you're in the middle of a heated battle. It's the difference between the epic battles of Red, Cynthia, the Elite Four, and then this.
Why does it just sound like a group of people shouting?
Not to mention these new games always have to try some new gimmick that's just never good enough to stick around. The Z moves, Mega Evolving, turning into a giant version of a Pokemon and taking up half the stage, and now turning your Pokemon into a crystal. It's the same idea over and over again, it just looks different each time, and it's just never any good. They also added a mode where you set up a table for you and your Pokemon, and then none of your Pokemon sit at the table, and then they just kind of take naps. And then you can make the most grotesque sandwich that I've ever seen since my Cooking Mama video.
Tastes like a burnt grilled cheese.
Shinies feel more common now too.
Holy!
Not because they changed the odds, but rather every time a Pokemon appears on screen, it's an individual roll of those odds. Rather than doing random encounters over and over and over and over, seeing more Pokemon at once gives you more chances and therefore you're more likely to find one. That's just probability 101. Oh, and the naming system has some moderation issues as well.
You can't like put ass or anything, but anal beads is fine, I guess.
Now at this point, I understand it sounds like I'm ragging on the game, and I am, but let's go into some of the game's strengths as well. The reasons I go, okay, yeah, this is a $60 video game. The game is broken up into these 3 storylines, right? One of them is literally just about a guy whose dog is sick, and that's the whole storyline. And I know it doesn't sound like much, but if the game can get you invested in something that basic of a story, it's doing something right.
I'm not crying, you're crying, shut up. I gotta blow my nose for a completely unrelated reason. Alright, it's cold. I think I'm sick, I'm coming down with something.
And that's just one of the storylines. From here you get free direction of how you want to play the game. Take on gyms, fight Titan Pokemon, or take down Team Star. Do them in whatever order, swap between them, or just fight random Pokemon in the streets for an hour. It's honestly your choice. The camps are meant to be like a Team Rocket base, but instead of having a natural flow where you fight grunts one at a time as you go deeper and deeper into the hideout, you just kind of run through it like you're playing against bots on League of Legends, spamming the R button until you get to the final fight. When you do the gyms, you gotta do these little mini games first before you fight the gym leader, and challenging is not a word that comes to mind. What I think always stood out to me about gyms in the past though is the personality of the gym leaders. Everyone is gonna remember Misty from Pokemon Fire Red, but ain't nobody remembering the nobody from Pokemon Y.
Back in my day, we'd open up a can of something and eat that shit blind.
This game has some interesting characters such as Indiana Jones, the Twitch streamer, and this dude who looks like a lady.
Is that a dude?
But I can't say any of them really left a lasting impact on me that cements one of them to be my favorites of all time. Except maybe Larry.
I love Larry. He's so depressed.
To go along with the leaders, the gym themselves had personalities. What really made them memorable were their puzzles, gimmicks, tests, and to see them boiled down to the same copy and paste room and then one fight just feels uninspired. But after the gyms, we have the Pokemon League, and they just completely cut out Victory Road. Now it's just a tunnel that goes black for 2 seconds, and congratulations, you've done it! Woo! That was so cool. And it's not like it would matter if it was there either, because you can literally just climb over the wall and skip it entirely. The Titans are kind of a unique fight, similar to the raids, where you just kind of team up to fight a really big Pokemon that's a little stronger than usual. And that helps carry on another storyline as well about this guy who's got some daddy issues. But something that always bothered me while going through this was the illusion of choice. You literally cannot say no in this game.
You, champion, yes? No. You, champion, yes? No. You, champion, yes? No. You, champion, yes?
They give you these dialogue options, and the dialogue options mean nothing. Why even offer them if that's the case? After all that though, the 3 storylines join together pretty naturally at the end, and I'm gonna dip a bit into spoilers here real quick just to kind of wrap things up. The game becomes a little self-aware, and we gotta open up these locks to free the professor, but it turns out the professor was just dead the whole time, and he just downloaded his brain into an AI, which is totally an original idea that I've never heard before. And we gotta fight his team of elite metal Pokemon to stop the machine and save the world or something. But this is probably the same place that they made Metal Sonic, I'm guessing.
Where the am I?
But after you beat the game, you get serenaded by Ed Sheeran.
You actually can't skip the credits. That's kind of nuts.
And I think that is probably worth the $60 price tag. But overall, what are the thoughts? Well, like the title says, the game is truly a beautiful disaster. So many people have claimed that although it's a buggy, unoptimized mess, it's still one of the most fun games they've played this year.
Fuck!
And I have to agree. The core of Pokemon has always been a good structure, which is why it's a series that's grown as successful as it is. If the developers were allowed more time to optimize the gameplay, make the graphics prettier, and maybe even try to make the game a little less pandering, we'd have an incredible video game on our hands. But as it is now, it's a great game that's locked behind a few needed updates. And now, I just need to get my rival to be able to take no for an answer.
You, me, rivals, yes? No. 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 You, me, rivals, yes?